Hi, today I'll teach you on how to create a bucket in GCP. So you can go to your console, click on your hamburger menu, click on cloud storage and click on browser. So to create a bucket, you can just click on this button. So the first thing you need to do is you need to give a appropriate name. So this has to be a globally unique name and you can't use a name that is already existing within the namespace. So let me choose a appropriate name. Click on continue. The second thing you need to decide is which particular region you want your bucket to reside in. If you want it to reside in just one region, then you can click on this and you can choose which particular region you want. The other option you have is you can decide whether you want to have it in two regions or multiple regions. So if you click on but dual region, then you will have these three options. And if you click on multi-region, what happens is Google will redundantly replicate your bucket within the regions that you have specified. So if you've chosen US, then it will redundantly replicate this particular bucket within many regions in the US. So let me just choose to region. The other thing you can see is that as you keep choosing this particular button, the cost also factors in. So if I choose multi-region, the storage cost increases per GB. So that's one thing you need to be aware of. So let me just choose region here and click on continue. So next thing you have to decide is what kind of storage class you want your bucket to be. So these are the four options you have. So the main one is a standard, and then you have nearline, codeline, and archive. So it's based on how frequently you do your operations, um, like how frequently you upload your objects within that particular bucket or how frequently you download. So if you look at this particular cost calculator, the price of the storage keeps going down. However, the price of the operation keeps increasing. So what you have to decide is what kind of information you have, what kind of objects you have stored in your bucket. If it's something that will be frequently used or frequently utilized, frequently downloaded, then it's preferable to choose the standard one. If it's not that frequently used, then you can either decide to use the nearline or the cold line. But if it's not at all used and you want your objects just to reside within a storage and you are not going to use it much at all, then it's preferable to use archive. So if I click on standard, then you can see that the cost per GB at this moment in time is 0.02 and the operations are 0.005 for 10,000 operations. So if you look at this, you can see that there are two kinds of operations. The class A operations include the create bucket, the upload bucket, and the set bucket permission. And the class B operations include the download, the view metadata, and the retrieve bucket operations. So both of these have different costing. So if I click on nearline, you can see that the storage size does decrease. I mean, the cost per GB does decrease. However, you can see that the operation price here also increases a bit. So these are for documents which you would not frequently access. You can also see that the retrieval size also is there. So if you click on the standard, you see that the retrieval size is free right now. If you click on code line, you'll see that the storage per GB cost also does decrease. However, the operations and the operations cost increases a bit. So if I click on nearline and code line, what you see are the class B operations. The cost for the class B operation increases. And if I click on archival, I will see that the cost per GB for storing the data drastically comes down. However, if you look at the operation cost, it has also drastically gone up. So you have to be very careful while deciding which particular storage class you want your bucket to be. So I'll choose standard for the time being. So the next thing you need to decide is what is the control access that you want for your object within that particular budget bucket. So if you want to have your bucket in such a way that each particular object that is stored in that particular bucket should have individual permissions, access permissions, then you would choose finely grained. However, if you don't want that, and if you want each object that is stored within your bucket to have that same permission, then you would choose uniform. I will choose finely grained for the time being. Click on continue. So here you can decide what kind of keys you want. If you want Google to manage your encryption keys, then you can just click on this. However, if you want that you should manage the keys, then you can choose customer managed ones and you can select the keys. So currently I'll choose the Google managed key. And the other important factor is the retention policy. So if you want that you have uploaded a bucket, sorry, an object within a bucket, and if you want that nobody should be able to delete that particular bucket, I mean that particular object for a specific period of time, then you can choose here what is that particular period of time. So for example, here I can choose that whenever an object is uploaded, then there should be a log set on it for 1 hour or 3600 seconds. So that's it. You can just click on create now. After that, to upload a file, you can just open that bucket. So I'm already in that bucket, as you can see. I'll just click on and I'll just open a file and just upload it.